Hi, Caroline Defina from Best Start Clinic, and today the topic I'm going to share with you to practice at home during the holidays is on positioning. So it's one of the early things that we look at in ESDM training of therapists, and something that I encourage early on with parents as well, is to look at how we set things up. So as most of you would know, getting eye contact, having lots of face-to-face interaction is something that lots of parents really want their child with autism to develop, and something that's important for longer-term development. So it's hard for kids. What we want to do is set up the environment, which means set up ourselves, the room, how we position materials to be helpful to get that eye contact and to get in that spotlight of attention. So what that means is that instead of expecting a child with autism to turn around, to turn and look, to orientate the body, we want to make sure that we position ourselves in front of the child. If you're at a table, get chairs that really allow your child to be seated or standing in a comfortable way, and for you to be on the other side. That might mean you're kneeling, you're down on the chair, but you're in a way where you can make that eye contact really easy. If you're down on the floor, it might mean that you have something for your child to sit on so that they're a little bit higher. A lot of children with autism do have a weak core, and what that means is that when they're seated, they can really be crouched over. So what that does is take children's attention and their focus and their eye contact all down. It makes it harder for them to look up, and harder to see all the information that we get from people's faces, and harder to get and sustain that eye contact. It also makes it a higher distance. If we're crouched, if we're hunched over down, it's a bit more work, it's a bit more of a distance to go up. So we want to make this really easy. That might mean having different things that your child sits on. Some of those might be recommended by an OT, or just, grab a cushion, have them up. Something else is making sure that the objects are up. So a lot of children with autism really do enjoy object play a lot more than they do social play, and that rich, sort of intense face-to-face interaction. So object play is something we always want to do, and it's a great place to start. But it might mean having these things up. So if anyone still has old phone books, keep them as a way to raise your material up a little. Grab some books, blocks, low play tables, and put those objects that your child likes playing with there with you opposite, so that your face is quite close to those objects and can capture that eye contact. You can share the fun and your pleasure as well in the toys or the material that your child's using, and make that eye contact a little bit easier, and it encourages your child to also be a little more upright and help your child to stay a little bit more alert. So you will find that we find very often that children with autism do tend to clock away from people or move away. And, a mistake I often see is the adult just sitting there and waiting for the child to come back for a really long time, giving instructions, using the child's name. Often that doesn't work early on in a child's developmental program. So what you need to do is to stay in your child's game and stay in the spotlight of attention, is perhaps going over with the child. Go with them. Go to what they're looking at, go to what they're doing, and stay with them, so that you're close and your positioning makes it easy for your child to keep the game going and keep that interaction going. So I hope some of those tips have been helpful. Please do practice embedding them, not just in play, but in meal times. Really look at your positioning. In bath time, look at positioning. Look at where you are, and look at where your child is, and look at if you're using anything like food or toys, look at where they are to see that it's between you and something that will make eye contact and facial referencing, sort of looking up at the face, really easy, rather than something that's a little bit hard. Good luck. Send us a message if you're having any problems or would like any more tips on that. And tomorrow we will have another topic ready for you to practice at home in the holidays. Thanks. Keep up the playing.